Hello everyone, for OneWrestling.com, this is Bill Apter. TLC, the WWE pay-per-view is over. We have a champion of champions, an undisputed champion. We have, in the other box here, Sean Ross Sapp, one of our correspondents who does all our great MMA reports, but he's also a wrestling maven, aren't you?
Absolutely. Watched the show tonight, of course. Had to see the title unification.
Well, we're going to start off, of course. Let's go through the whole card. And I'll tell you something. I think the fans really got their money's worth tonight. This is a pretty damn good card.
I do too, especially the undercard. The undercard really delivered tonight.
Yeah, which you don't see on a lot of pay-per-views. In the free match, not on the pay-per-view, but the kickoff match, it was Dolph Ziggler against Fandango, and my prediction was that there was no way that Fandango was going to win, and it only took him like, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes to put Dolph Ziggler away. What the heck is going on with Dolph Ziggler?
I don't know. He's been on a real downslope since returning from that concussion earlier this year.
Yeah.
And Fandango has been really inconsistent as well. But when you have Summer Rae in your corner, you never know what can happen.
That distraction factor. So that took it. And Dolph Ziggler, I don't know where he's going to go from here, but he's really got to get back into the game.
He does. He needs a big 2014 really badly. He really reached his potential this year by winning the World Heavyweight title, but
Yes,
like
yeah.
since that concussion, things have gone downhill for him.
Totally. Got to see him get back into that winning number column again, because he was on such a roll for such a long time.
He was. He had the crowd behind him. He had all that momentum. And, you know, that spawned the success of A.J. Lee and Big E Langston. And who would have thought a year ago that Dolph Ziggler would be further down the card than Big E Langston and A.J. Lee?
Yeah, amazing. CM Punk taking on the challenge of the Shield in a handicap match. Tag team rules on their end, of course. And I predicted somehow CM Punk was going to win, and indeed he did, Sean.
Yeah, he overcame the odds, and CM Punk didn't give himself much of a chance on the past couple of Raws. He said that he knew he was going to lose, but just wanted to take out the Shield in the process. Well, he got more than even he thought he could. He capitalized off of the Roman Reigns spear on Dean Ambrose, and you have to wonder what's going to happen with the Shield here. How will Dean Ambrose respond to that spear from Roman Reigns? Will he take it personally? Will he see it as the accident that it appears that it is? Who knows?
Well, it was obviously an accident, but there has been some problems brewing in the Shield, and there is a possibility that I hear from some of my inside correspondents that that they're upset at how well Roman Reigns is being looked at by the fans and the press as being the best man in the Shield. Some jealousy maybe coming into play.
I agree with that as well. Again, a year ago, I wouldn't have thought that Roman Reigns would be the breakout star of the Shield, and he has really taken off. With the power of that spear, he's gotten himself over very well, and you start to hear those crowd reactions for Roman Reigns, and it's getting reminiscent of Batista in Evolution. He's rising up the ranks, and
absolutely, sure, and that's a spear that would possibly make Goldberg fairly envious and give a thumbs up to.
Absolutely.
The tag team titles were on the line tonight. It was Goldust and Cody Rhodes, the tag team champions, in a fatal four-way. And some unusual teams there. The Big Show and Rey Mysterio. Did you see the difference in the height there? It was just amazing there. Ryback and Curtis Axel, and of course the Real Americans. And just about more so than the actual titles being at stake, people wondered what would happen if Cesaro could get Big Show in position for the giant swing, but it never happened. But Goldust was the victim of the giant swing.
I have to tell you, 2013 has been a fantastic year for tag team wrestling. it seems like every single week on Raw, we get these 20, 25-minute tag team matches, these 6-man tag matches, 8-man tag matches. This one was very good as well. I was wanting to see Cesaro pick up the Big Show because,
We all wanted to see that.
yeah, and I was afraid that if he picked up Rey Mysterio, that Rey Mysterio's knees that are made of construction paper and glue at this point,
Absolutely,
you
absolutely.
have to wonder what would happen there. The team of Big Show and Rey Mysterio, very interesting. They went very far in this match.
Well, they were the last team to be in the ring, of course, with Goldust and Cody Rhodes. And what was amazing here is that the Big Show he almost showed too much heart here. I mean, he really didn't want to injure his friends Goldust and Cody Rhodes. The ending, of course, coming with Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio in an incredible battle. So many pin attempts and flying maneuvers. It was so exciting, but Cody Rhodes using the crossroads to wind up pinning Rey Mysterio in a very, very, very exciting match.
It's amazing to see the team of Cody Rhodes and Goldust because in the past 5 years, I don't think there's anybody who has improved more than Cody Rhodes.
Absolutely.
He's fantastic. And the same could be said for Goldust because if you look back at him 5 years ago, he was doing the whole Black Rain thing, was in a
Oh
very
yeah, it was a totally different, a darker character.
yeah,
But
wasn't in shape, and now he's back. And Goldust, dare I say, better than ever. And them as a team, they've overcome every challenge put in front of them so far.
yeah, and he actually, I agree with you. Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, just seems to be better than he ever was. He said, and the fans love him. We see the reaction he gets. So all we can say is, as he would say, absolutely amazing. During the pre-show, the panel of experts, Booker T, The Miz, Mick Foley, and Josh Matthews, were talking, and The Miz said a couple of unkind things about Kofi Kingston. Kofi came over, confronted him, slapped him so hard. I mean, my TV shook here. And the director of the Authority, Kane, signed a match for tonight with Kofi Kingston against The Miz and wound up with Kofi victorious.
This is the most fire we've seen out of Kofi Kingston since he was involved in that program with Randy Orton, and it's great to see that because there's no reason that Kofi Kingston cannot reach those heights. And they put on an excellent match. Kofi Kingston and Miz are really feeding off of each other right now.
Absolutely. They're great opponents for
They
each
are.
other.
They really are, and they need each other. And they've developed quite a good rivalry. It's carried over from Raw. They started off as a tag team. That didn't work out. They've moved on to opponents, and now you just never know which direction Kofi Kingston-Miz situation is going to go, but Kofi Kingston picked up the big win here.
Absolutely. Another match that was thrown in, we're a little out of order here, but that's fine. We're talking about the matches. Another match that was thrown in was Brodus Clay against R-Truth, and of course, Brodus had the Funkadelics and the Tensai in his corner, and in the other corner was Xavier Woods. And Brodus, after hanging R-Truth upside down in the corner, Tensai said, "What are you doing? You could have pinned him like 10 times already." And Tensai got up onto the ring, and Brodus said "Hey, I'm better than him. I'm better than you." So Tensai and the girls took a hike, and Brodus wound up being pinned by R-Truth. Now here is something that's got to drive the marketing machine of WWE crazy, because Brodus and Tensai, like, people were buying their merchandise. They were so popular with the Funkadelics, and now they're going to wind up doing something against each other.
Absolutely. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. It's been mounting for weeks, this dissension between Tensai and Brodus Clay.
Yes.
Because of this jealousy that Brodus Clay has shown towards Xavier Woods and also R-Truth. It's kind of interesting because you have to think that Brodus Clay is more capable than this fun-loving, dancing guy. And what are you going to do when?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be that guy.
Yeah. What's going to happen when somebody like Xavier Woods really sets this monster off? And R-Truth may have done that tonight.
That is a possibility. The Intercontinental Championship on the line with champion Big E Langston against Damian Sandow, and Big E retaining with the with his finishing move there, the big ending. And I'll tell you something, Sandow, I think, spends too much time arguing with the fans, arguing with his opponent, and I think the power moves of Big E Langston and the focus that he had tonight, there was no way he was going to lose.
I agree, and that match got off to a frenetic pace. It started off way faster than I thought it would, and these guys were really going for it from the beginning. You had both guys going for their finishes within the first 20, 30 seconds of the match, and Big E Langston, despite his size, is a supremely conditioned, world-class athlete,
Yeah,
world-class
absolutely.
weightlifter, and as you said, the power moves of Big E Langston just were way too much for Damian Sandow, who, like you said, seems to let the crowd get a little under
Yeah,
the
yeah,
more so than he should.
yeah. He's
With
more
someone of
interested in what he's saying than what he's doing sometimes. So
indeed,
that's two biggies in a row there. I mean, of course, he's still reeling from not beating John Cena after he cashed in the Money in the Bank.
he is, and he really showed what he was made of in that match. And it seemed like the crowd got a little bit behind him in that match, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
when he didn't come up on the right side of things, the crowd is quick to turn on you.
Yes. Well, they did. Big E Langston retaining the Intercontinental Championship. I had picked Natalya to beat AJ Lee tonight for the Divas title. And I have to tell you something, that AJ Lee continues to impress me because just first of all that Black Widow submission hold is incredible. But for her to reverse the sharpshooter tonight and work that into a pin, you very rarely see that.
Not only that, she reversed it twice. She got
Yes,
out of it
yes.
right before that, too. It looked like she was going for a bit of a heel hook, a leg lock submission, but Natalya was able to slap it back on before ultimately getting rolled up. And it's weird to say it because AJ Lee was the champion, but I thought she was the underdog going into this match
So
because
did I. I picked
the
Natalya to
strength,
win.
the strength, the size, and of course, if you're a Hart, the technical ability of Natalya. It seemed like it was too much for the overpowered AJ, but she really delivered tonight.
I think AJ, there have been so many things going on with her. I think she's the anger of her, no matter how carefree and skipping she is and all that, she's an angry person, and I think that anger tonight came out against Natalya.
Well, she utilized it in the right manner. I mean, if you can channel that anger and turn it into a huge victory over somebody like Natalya, then it's working.
Yeah, which is exactly what she did. Daniel Bryan tonight, unbelievable. I mean, the that dark crew of the Wyatt family completely destroying Daniel Bryan tonight.
Poor Daniel Bryan. Like, despite the CM Punk victory over the Shield, it seems as if the Wyatt family at this point are more of a unit than the Shield.
Yeah,
They did not miss a beat. They utilized the double team maneuvers in a fantastic manner. Daniel Bryan had 20,000 people behind him, but it wasn't enough to overcome the Wyatt family.
no, absolutely not. And I think the Wyatt family is still very interested, of course, in securing him to become a member of the Wyatts. He looks like one of them. But during one point in that match, Bray Wyatt kept screaming at Daniel Bryan, I told you this could be all over. Just shake my hand right now. Come on. You could be, like he wanted. And Daniel Bryan slapping his hand, just inciting the Wyatt family even so much more. And I'll tell you something, that one funky move that Bray Wyatt did was pretty awesome. Where he goes up, bridges back, and
It's very
walks.
eerie.
Yeah,
And a
it's
question
very.
that I have, what happens when Daniel Bryan just has enough and he says, I don't need to deal with this anymore. I will join the Wyatt family. How could they be stopped? You'd have the power of Luke Harper. You'd have the brute force of Eric Rowan.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd have Bray Wyatt getting into everybody's head, and then the technical ability, the speed of Daniel Bryan. And you have to wonder what would happen with the fans. Would they follow Daniel Bryan? Would they turn against Daniel Bryan?
There's so much going on here between the Wyatts, the Shield. I mean, so much dissension feeling going on. So unbelievable. I thought that in the Bryan match that CM Punk might interfere, and same thing in CM Punk's match. I thought that Daniel Bryan might interfere, but there was none of that. This finally brings us now to the main event that everybody was waiting for, the tables, ladders, and chairs match with World Champion John Cena against the WWE Champion Randy Orton. Now, I'll tell you something. My first thought was, with all the historical stuff that they were showing for so many weeks over and over, champions like Harley Race and Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, etc., I said, boy, rather than TLC, I'd rather see this as an old school 2 out of 3 falls wrestling match. But when I saw this match tonight, I mean, this was really an exciting TLC match.
Well, they definitely went towards the ladders and the tables a lot earlier in the match than I thought they would. I thought Cena would try to wear Orton down, or vice versa, and then go for the ladder. But they went for it right off the bat, and even handcuffs and steel.
Now you see that this is let's go back a little bit, okay? There were tables, chairs, and ladders all used, but toward the end of the match, Randy Orton goes under one of the mats outside the ring and pulls out a pair of handcuffs and handcuffs John Cena to the ropes. And I mean, to me, that was going to be the end of John Cena, that Randy Orton was just going to go up, and then Triple H and Stephanie and Vince were going to come in, and that was it. Cena, I never thought of this, unscrewing the ropes from the corner post. That was a brilliant move, but he still only had one hand. So we went up there, he couldn't really get everything down with one hand, and then Randy Orton pulling him down in a tug-of-war into the table, and that was it. And that was it. But, wow. So Randy Orton is now the champion of champions. Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Vince McMahon coming in and congratulating him. Orton, as you saw, had a cut over his eye from early in the match. But I've got to tell you something. It was a well-earned victory. No matter who would have won that match, that was a brutal match.
As good as it is to be Randy Orton right now, you have to wonder how good it's going to be Randy Orton in the near future. You have 30 guys in a Royal Rumble next month coming for that title. You don't have 2 world titles anymore. You have one that these guys are going after. Not only that, he has a huge target right above his eye that was opened up tonight in that match with Cena.
Absolutely.
So not only does he have a huge bullseye painted on his back, he has one painted right on his forehead as well, thanks to John Cena.
We also have to look at the fact that perhaps in that contract might be a rematch clause that could even be on Monday Night Raw.
That's very true.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So, Sean, thank you so very much for doing this wrap-up with me here on OneWrestling.com. And tell fans where they can follow you.
You can follow me at Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter. That's SeanRossSapp. So give me a follow.
Yeah, and what's coming up in the MMA world? What's the next biggie?
Perhaps the biggest UFC card of all time in 2 weeks. It's UFC 168. It's the rematch between Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva.
Oh, yeah.
Anderson Silva hadn't lost in years. Chris Weidman was able to capitalize on some antics and do it. Also, Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate, too. One of the most intense rivalries in the history of MMA.
Okay. So as I always say, I'll see you at the matches, but he'll see you inside the cage. Bill Apter, Sean Ross Sapp, we will see you at the matches. Thank you. TLC WWE 2014 is history.